Okay. Stream for today is go. Game for today is called Cycle 28. I thought it was called Cycle 27 before, because that's what it says on the title, but I think I get it now. It's a little asteroid style roguelike shoot 'em up. And I've played it a lot. Not a lot, but I played it a bit before. And it's very mean, but yet kind of addicting. So let's get to it. So the first thing is I'm going to delete my save data. The funny thing about this game is that if you don't shoot, like you never fire, enemies will never fire back. Or spawn, even. So let's just lazily follow this guy. Hey, buddy. How's it going? And so this game, there's a timer at the top which is counting down. The run ends when that time hits 0. Playing normally, I've never had it hit 0 before, because like I said, the game's really hard. So I'm kind of curious to see what happens if it does hit 0, just because you're not fighting back. So in the meantime, I recently got my speedrun of Shmup Tactics verified on speedrun.com. So now I am the moderator and world record holder of it. The VOD has been uploaded to YouTube, and that makes me two-time world record holder. With that and Basket Bell, which still hasn't been overtaken. Who knows, one of these days I might submit them to GDQ or the like. I have submitted Shmup Tactics to Don't Make Us Bored, Brosensha's show about, just random games. So we'll see if that gets accepted anytime soon. Well, that's pretty exciting. And it's just the type of thing that I think this channel is good for. Like, Shmup Tactics was a fun game, and I think it makes a good speedrun. But it's so unknown that there was not even a page for it on speedrun.com. I think that's kind of sad. And certainly I can discover more games like that. I mean, some of the games that I've played, a lot of the games that I've played, are no good for speedrunning. Because they're visual novels, they don't have a discrete ending, or just because they're not good, or they're too long for me. There are definitely lots of people who can do multi-hour speedruns, and I'm not one of them. DAP, for example, has a small speedrunning community, but it's a little long for my tastes. Even the speedrun's over an hour long. In non-itch.io game news, I've been playing Master Duel again recently. I have fallen back in the hole. The theme chronicle that's going on right now is a lot of fun, where you use decks from the different solo modes. I mean, that's the intent. The way they enforce that, enforce might be a bit of a strong word, is a huge ban list that basically bans all the payoffs for all sorts of, good decks. But some people are making do without. Like Labyrinth is not one of the promoted decks, and they banned Lovely Lady of the Labyrinth and Welcome Labyrinth. No, not Welcome Labyrinth. Labyrinth, the field spell. I got distracted because I've never seen him talk about a door before. Is he talking about this darker section? I don't know. I guess I can keep that in mind. So they banned Lovely Lady of the Labyrinth and Labyrinth, but people are still playing it anyway. Just using Labyrinth Archfiend and making do without the field spell or the things it adds. Because the power level of all the decks is so much lower, it honestly gets by fine. The best decks in format are Crusadia, that's what a lot of people are playing, because it's very cheap and it's pretty good. Plunder Patrol and Bee Trooper are the other best decks, but are more expensive. I've seen a lot of people play like the Plunder Structure deck, the Plunder Loner that they give out, and I just have no idea what to do with them. Like, I saw a guy normal summon, and then have lots of opportunities to summon Liss or Moller, the Xyz one. And just didn't. He just didn't do anything. Just let me combo off and win. Cycle is not started again. Maybe I have half the answer. Maybe half the question. Let's go back to that door he was talking about. Maybe this is actually the sort of intended solution. Yeah, I never knew what happened when you let the timer hit 0 like this. Yeah, maybe the door was lower. Now it's brightly colored. Oh, there it is. I don't know, maybe if I shoot at it? I have forgotten what the fire button is. There it is. Oh! When you shoot, then it loops. Okay. I remember every cycle. It's easy because each one's the same. I take a few more of them with me every time, but in the end it doesn't change. What else can I do except try to get better? Be better. Alright, this time I'll play for real, and you'll see how devilishly hard this game is, but not immediately. Because the first thing I'm going to do is die. You see, this game has an upgrade system where every time you get a new high score, you get a new upgrade. But that means that you're always competing against yourself. And now that I have a score of 1, it is time to get a score of 2, so to speak. I'm not going to keep it that type, but 15, let's go die. Because actually trying to beat a high score that you tried your hardest on 10 times is quite difficult, and I don't think I ever got better than 6 or so. New upgrade! Hooray! Alright, let's destroy this guy this time. Oh, 25, you got it. This is why you don't want to make an upgrade system based on like new high scores like this. It incentivizes, well, it incentivizes this. Gameplay that is just not fun. And because if you don't do what I'm doing now, you like won't see all the upgrades and the game will feel impossible. I got more points somewhere. New upgrade. I'll go to them later. I don't need upgrades to beat 29 points. Now that I'm not trying to die, I'm getting my poop pushed in. $40! New high score! A better way of having a progression system in a game like this is to have cumulative score. So, like, every time you finish a run, your score gets recorded and added to, like, an XP bar. Like, the first 1,000 points, you get a new upgrade, and then the next 3,000, and then the next 7,000, etc. So they get further away each time, but presumably with the upgrades that people are getting, they're hopefully going to get higher and higher scores. 73, 78. That system encourages players to do their best every time. And they'll eventually know they're always working towards a new upgrade. And never feel like it's impossible to progress. But this system just sort of demands exploitation. $126, new high score. One annoying thing about trying to get yourself killed is while you're not shooting, you start regenning. So if you're not shooting because you don't want to get more score, you start not dying. But if you start shooting to try to die faster, then you might get more score, and that's no good. $138, new high score. Now to find something to ram against. I suppose I can always just ram against the wall. Here we go! I mean, it still takes a while. Come on. Hooray! Now we can finally die! $248, new high score! I don't know, maybe going down is faster. Ah, no, dying to these is fast enough. You can tell because of the asteroids control, it's so hard to just, like, do anything. Got a big score that time because I had a multiplier. As you kill enemies, you get a multiplier that stacks up, I think up to like 10x. And it resets to 1 every time you take damage. And that can be why and that's why it can be so hard to beat an old high score that you actually tried on. Because you get into this issue where you get like one really good run and then you can never recreate it. On collision, create a drone, boosting, fires, rear facing gun. Drone spawn, high chance of light drone. Firing, 2 bridge. Okay, so now I'll actually start playing a little bit. I get one more low high score and then actually really start. But I haven't seen this before. Okay, right. It doesn't want to start shooting because it wants to give you an opportunity to be pacifist, which is clearly part of some sort of ending. You see, I failed to beat it this time. Even trying to exploit the system, I failed on the 9th upgrade. Because my 8th one was so, like, adequate. Yeah, this rear cannon is awful. It is, like, technically useful. I swear, these drones are shooting way more often than they normally do. I've never seen them so aggressive. Oh, that's a new high score. Drone gun, firing, chance to spawn a drone. Now that's what I'm talking about. Alright, multi-shot is useful because it makes your forward shot better. And just being able to spawn more guys sounds really good. Because the guys aren't... The little drones aren't great, but they're not bad either. Especially once you get further on. And enemies start really coming from all sides. Just having passive fire in some directions is really useful. And I need to back out and wait until I'm healed. One annoying thing is, it's not clear how much damage you've taken, or it's not clear what health you're at as you're healing, because there's no indicator for the first couple of health points lost. You know, once you get low, you start smoking, and once you get really low, the alarm starts playing. So once those are gone, you're not at full health yet. So you just kind of wait, I don't know, a bit longer and get to full health then. There's a nice big hit. Nice big influx of points. So when a run goes well, you see that score really adds up fast. But it's exactly that reason why... Cool. Why I didn't want to try on my first few tries. On collision, fire 360 around the ship. Alright, let's try it. Yeah, once you get a little ways into the game, that kind of thing starts happening. Where you can just die out of nowhere. Okay. I don't know, I feel like probably firing spawns drones is better, but that's not bad. Hey, I got hit and I didn't shoot. What's up with that? I just won't need to blow my nose. Eh. Oh yeah, another thing that makes this game awkward to control is shooting affects your momentum. So if you shoot in one direction for a really long time, you'll start going backwards. On one hand, those drone launcher ships are really great for building up multiplier. On the other hand, it's almost impossible to kill them while maintaining your multiplier because there's just so much incidental damage coming in. Like, alright, I stopped smoking, and now I feel like I'm probably at full health. Well, not anymore. Because those gunships do a ton of damage. Because it's not just... Oh, I'm dead. Because it's not just hits, you understand. It's also... different things do different amounts of damage. The drones do piddlywinks damage. And stuff like the laser bars deal mondo damage. You can survive them on full health, but only just. Basically, always be shooting if I'm not healing, I guess, since I have the drone thing back on. I have making drones when I shoot back on. Just heal up a bit. And a bit more. I don't know how to do. Nice. Big score. Yeah, I think 10x is the cap. So any kills I get like this without taking a hit are gonna be worth a whole ton of points. And there it goes! Alright, get away and heal. And get away and heal. Really, your best opportunity to get score is right at the beginning. Let's try to chase down these guys. You don't even get many points for killing this enemy. And it's very dangerous. I'm kind of curious about, like, what happens on the pacifist run if you do the right thing. But I don't know what the right thing is, and I don't want to waste the 6 minutes it takes to get there just to, like, run into the door and die. I got a big score before taking a hit. Come on, time to heal. Any time spent not shooting, of course, is time spent not spawning drones. Speaking of which, two drone ships worth of drones is a lot of pesky gnats. That spiral shape is really the best way of getting them. Ah, jeez. Oh, jeez. Ah, jeez. Oh, nuts. Oh, beans. Already smoking again. Oh, nuts. Oh, beans. Oh, shit. You can imagine how frustrating it would be if I got that 3,000 point run and I still had like 3 upgrades left to get, because now I'm struggling to beat it. I had my good run, and now having to beat it several more times just kind of feels insurmountable. Incidentally, on this game's itch page, there were a lot of people who didn't like it. People who were really frustrated with the asteroids movement, or just the general difficulty of it. I can see that. I'm not quite sure I like it myself, but I do know that I spent like 2 hours playing it when I was testing games. So it gets its hooks in you. But I feel it's not so much of I want to play it again as I want to prove it wrong. And I'm not sure that's quite what you should be going for when making games. Killed that guy off screen. Like, come on. So considering the guy said, I only have half, it's like I have half the answers or have half the question. I feel like that's my hint that there's something I need to do before I can make use of the pacifist run, more or less. Like, maybe I need to do a violence run to get to 0 seconds first. And I suppose the way I do that is I don't worry about killing enemies. I just, you know, fire, kill a few, and then just start running away from everything. And once again, I'm considering the benefits of gaming the system rather than getting better at the game. Which shows a weakness in this game's design. Because getting better at this asteroid style of game feels almost hopeless. Like, obviously it's skill-based. It's not random. But dang it if it doesn't feel like it. A tiny fraction of my best score here on the first split. Just got graded. Now I'm gonna try heavy drones. So there's a trick you can do. No, there's not. So if you just sit there with the timer at 0, and don't do anything, you will steadily spawn drones just from your passive drone amount, and the timer won't go anywhere, and like enemies won't spawn. So you can get as many as you want. It's just that there are enemies like the laser bars, which just sweep the drones up. With very little you can do about it. You can see I have a ton here, and I will, you know, keep getting more and all. But as soon as the second wave of enemies starts, with the spreader bar, with the bar guy, I'm in danger of losing them all, like, instantly. And you can see those bigger, thicker drones. They do more damage. So I'm hoping that they can kind of carry. They have more health, too, but I highly doubt they can survive getting hit by the bar. They also kind of protect me, which is nice. They take hits for me. Can't protect me from my own bad flying, though. Once the swarm comes in. I'm not beeping yet, but I will be soon. I'd like to kill this guy first. Alright, now I can start healing. Jones largely took care of that guy, that's nice. Now, almost all my drones are gone. And that's the weakness of trying to bank on a drone strategy. Get out of here. And I'm dead. Or not. Okay. Move away from all the arrows that are showing me where enemies are. I don't often make it to split 2, but I do sometimes. Alright, well, all my drones are gone, so I think I'm just gonna try evasive maneuvers for the next few minutes. I guess I can shoot as long as I'm at full health. Maybe it'll just incidentally get something. Incredible. Yeah, let's try... more guns. More guns largely helps out in the later sections, and it really helps against the drones. And just incidentally nail some of them. None of the upgrades really feel impactful enough to deal with the last few minutes of enemies. The fact that you can still do the pacifist stuff on loops after you've opened hostilities does make it seem like it's intended in some way to cool. You know what? Let's do pacifist. Let's head towards the door. Maybe I'll learn something. Maybe now that I have all the upgrades, the door will open. I don't know. If it doesn't, I'm gonna just try flying into it after the timer's up. But otherwise, I'm just gonna sit there and watch it. It's funny that when you get next to the laser wall, your drones will just fly into it. If there's a door, then there's a way out. And yeah, enemies can pass through it just fine. You cannot. Well, since I got you here... The deck I've been running in Theme Chronicle is Mech Knights, which I haven't seen anyone else try. That's really impressive how Mech Knights, like Gores, have completely changed how people play Yu-Gi-Oh! When Gores was popular, for about 6 years or so after its release, people would attack with the lowest attack point monsters first and then go in ascending order. Because the math works out that if you do that, your opponent is either forced to Gores early, or they'll die, and so you'll keep the highest attack point monster on the field, or, worst case scenario, you get all your damage in and then they Gores, and that's fine. Mech Knights have done something similar, where people will generally not play cards in the same column as each other now. Even though Mech Knights are out of the meta, they're not good anymore. But man, getting blue skied for 2, oh, that hurts. Which is why I like that Crusadia is so popular. Crusadia versus Mech Knight is weird. Because Crusadia is kind of forced to play in columns. So if you stop their combo early, if you like Infinite Impermanence their Maximus, they might just stop early with 2 cards in a column. And if they're really not thinking about it, they might just put a card in the back, and then you get Blue Sky for 3. Get Red Moon and Yellow Horizon and Indigo Eclipse. Get whatever you want. I've only lost 1 game in Theme Chronicles so far, and it was against this absolute Chad playing nothing turbo. Some Blue Eyes, some Dragon Maids. It wasn't a Blue Eyes Dragon Maid deck, though. It was just, I think they bought the Dragon Maid structure and combined it with the Blue Eyes stuff that you get at the beginning. And just, that was it. That was the deck. But I lost because I turbo bricked. With bricks such as these, we can build the finest of houses. Hey, let's play the Asteroids game where I try to stop. There we go. That's close to a stop. So I lost to that guy. But I've beaten Plunder, I've beaten Crusadia, I've beaten B-Troopers. And it's pretty clear that people just, like, don't know how to actually beat Mech Knights. They know that you're not supposed to play cards in the same column as them. They do know that. Or like, same column as your other cards. But they don't know what to actually do once the Mech Knights start showing up. Like, oh geez, this wasn't in the manual. The manual just said don't play cards in the same column. Because what Mech Knights do is pretty unique. They have cards, 3 back rows, that say if a Mech Knight is in the same column as a card your opponent is activating, negate it. There's one for monster effects, one for spells, one for traps. The best one is the one for monster effects, both because monster effects are the most important things, and also because the card itself revives a level 5 or higher monster from your graveyard when you activate it. So you can have, like, no Mech Knights on board, and your opponent will lay down a monster and try to activate its effect, and then you just slam down Indigo Eclipse on top of it, and go, you didn't say the magic word. And then they try to play something else in another column, and you move Indigo Eclipse into that column, you go, didn't say the magic word, and that's when they concede. So the fact that you have this one trap that can represent, like, 2 negates and a summon of a pretty strong monster, I really like that. And that's hardly all that Mech Knights can do. Having IP Masquerena on the board nowadays with Underworld Goddess of the Closed World in format automatically means you have nice removal. But having Lib, the World Keyblade Master on field as well represents another, because she shuffles a card when you, Alright, well, let's try. Let's try. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Ba-na-ba-da-na-na, nope. It's like, maybe I should look it up. Do you think there's actually any information on this game? I don't. Like, I'm sure there's an ending. I'm sure there's a way to get to cycle 28. But if it's not just like something funky, and if it actually requires me to play the full 6 minutes, I think the developer vastly overestimates how good players are going to be at this game. And how much their patience is going to hold out. Because mine has run its course. I'd rather be playing Yu-Gi-Oh! So I think that's where I'm going to end it. I think this game does have an ending, but I'm not interested. I'll give it a quick look-see. Cycle 28 ending. Oh no! Cycle 28 game ending. Oh god. It's worse than I thought. There was a Reddit thread when this game was released. The first person to solve the mystery of Cycle 28, the final achievement, gets every game we make, past, present, and future, for free. Oh, God. So, it is not intended to be, like, reasonable then, so I won't try. I wonder if anyone has bothered. After 5 months, 14 days, 6 hours, the Cycle 28 mystery has been solved. I'm not doing it then! Alright, okay, let's see. How do you break the cycle? I probably won't do it, I'll just read it. The ARGS community puzzle. We're extremely excited to announce blah blah blah. One of the time loop, becoming the first person to see the end credits. Look at every pill plug. We're not going to tell you exactly how the mystery was solved. No, tell me exactly how the mystery was solved. Ugh. Ah, worthless. Yeah, they're keeping it hush hush. So, so will I. How's that for hush hush? Don't do that. Don't do that. Jesus, I was kind of ambivalent on this game, but if you're gonna do something like that and hide the ending of a $7 game behind your ARG puzzle, no. At first, this game got a passing grade for me. Now it gets a big fat failure. That's stupid. I'm done streaming this.